In the previous lecture, I completed login functionality through Ajax call. In this lecture, I am going to complete registration functionality through Ajax call with pop-up model. In this series, I already implemented registration functionality from registration page. You can follow this series for registration functionality from registration page. So let's get back to our home page. We have register button inside our home page. So let's open our home.build.php file, which is under resources views folder. You see we have register button of class register underscore button, and we have already included register and login model at the bottom, and our home page is extending our main layout file. And let's open our main layout file. You see we have auth.js file included inside our main layout file. Now let's open our auth.js file, which is under public js folder, and you see whenever we clicking on this register button of class register underscore button, we are hiding our login model and we are displaying our register model, right? So what we need to do now, we need to include a registration form inside the register model body, right? So let's open our register model body. So our model body is under, model is under resources views partials models folder. This is our register model, and we need to include registration form inside this model body, right? So we have already registration form inside our registration page, right? So we can take the code from our registration page. So let's open our registration page, which is under resources views auth folder. I will copy the code from here for registration form, and I will paste this inside our registration model body, right? And then I will remove the class from this div, and I will also remove the class from this form, and I will also rename the ID for this form to model underscore registration underscore form. Okay, now let's refresh our home page and click on this register button. You see we have registration form inside our registration model body, right? Now let's check what we have inside our registration form. We have CSRF field inside our registration form. We have first name field, last name field, email field, password field, confirm password field, terms and condition checkbox fields, and Google reCAPTCHA field. If you do not know how to implement Google reCAPTCHA, you can follow this series where we already implemented Google reCAPTCHA for registration form. Okay, so let's get back to our home page. You see inside our home page we have login model with login form, and we have register model with registration form. Okay, and both of this form has email and password field common, right? So what I will do, I will just change the ID for the email field in registration form. Okay, so I will rename the ID for email field here to register underscore email, and for the password field I will rename the ID to register underscore password. Okay, now it's okay. So another thing is that we have this sign in button here, right? So what I will do, I will add a class to this sign in button. Okay, because we have login button also here, right? Whenever we are clicking on this login button, we are displaying our login form, right? Login model form, right? So what we can do, we can simply add a class here, login underscore button, so that it will work exactly like our login button. Okay, and I will also provide the JavaScript void here for null functionality in the href. Now let's refresh our home page. Try to click on this register button and then sign in, sign up. Okay, everything is okay. Now what I will do, I will add jQuery form validations for this registration form, right? Model registration form. So let's open our auth.js file. So we already have form validations for registration form, and this registration form validation is for the form which is present inside our registration page, right? So we have already implemented this form validation, so we can take the code from here, right? So for the model registration form validation, what I will do, I will simply copy this code from here and I will paste under this, and I will just change the ID here, right? So the ID for our model registration form is model underscore registration underscore form. I will just rename the ID here, and I will store this validator to a variable called register validator. I will use this validator later, okay? And let's check what we have inside these rules. We have the rules for first name last name field and also for the email field, and you see we have remote rule for email field to check email already exists in our database or not, okay? So if you do not know how to implement remote rule, you can see the videos to check email already exist or not, which is already included in this series, okay? So we need to pass, and we need to pass the email field value, right? And this is the ID. So few seconds ago we just changed the ID for email field, right? So we need to provide exact ID, right? So the ID here is register underscore email, right? Yeah, let's provide it here. And then we have rules for password field and confirm password field, and our confirm password field should be required to our password field, and this is the ID for our password field, right? So let's copy the ID for password field and paste it here. And I have some customization messages. You can leave it blank if you do not want to show your customization messages. I just provided some customization messages for first name last name field and for the other fields also, and we just replace the error messages. Okay, for the terms and condition checkbox we just appended the error messages to a div of ID terms underscore error, right? So you see inside our registration form we have a div of terms underscore error, and whenever there will be some error messages for terms and condition checkbox, we will put the error messages inside this div, and also for the Google checkbox we will put the error messages inside this div, okay? And there is submit handler, and instead of submitting the form I need to call Ajax from here, right? So I will not submit the form at this stage, I will call Ajax at this stage, right? So you see we are displaying a loader, right? You will not be able to use it until you add overlay loader packages inside your layout file. I already included, right? You see I already included this library here, that's why I am able to use this loader $loading overlay, right? It will display an overlay loader, okay? So we need to call Ajax at this stage, right? So we have already called Ajax during login functionality, right? So we can take the code from here. So let's copy the code from here and paste it here. Now don't look on this code now, okay? I'll explain later one by one. So for now let's comment these lines of code here and see I'm getting all the form field values with the help of form data, and I'm storing the values to a variable called form data, right? And then we are calling Ajax, okay, $.ajax, and we need to pass URL type and data, and these fields are not necessary. If you want to pass you can pass, or if you do not want to pass just leave it blank, okay? So what we need to do, we need to provide an URL, right? Ajax URL. This is the URL for the Ajax login, but we don't have any URL for Ajax registration, right? So we need to create an URL, right? So let's open our web.php file which is under routes folder, and I will create the Ajax registration URL under this route, okay? And I will create the route under a route group of prefix auth and middleware custom guest, okay? So the URL will be Ajax register, and it will execute Ajax register method of auth controller. Ajax register method is not present in our auth controller. I need to create it, right? So first of all, let's provide the exact URL here. This should be auth and then Ajax register. Why there is auth here? Because this route is under a route group of prefix auth, right? And how we can use base URL here? Because we already stored the base URL of our project to a global variable base URL inside our main layout. You see, inside our main layout we created a global variable with the help of window object, right? Window.base URL, and we stored the base URL of our project to this variable so that we can use this base URL variable inside any of our JavaScript file, right? Okay, so we just provided the exact URL here, right? But we did not create it Ajax register method inside our auth controller. Now let's get back to our auth controller. So we need to create Ajax register method, right, inside our auth controller. So let's open our auth controller, and I will create Ajax register method under post register method, because I will copy some code from post register method, because we have already implemented registration functionality, right, from registration page. So we can take the code from registration functionality, right? So let's create a method called Ajax register, and let's get request object here, because we need to work with the form values, right? Now what I will do, I will copy the code from here, because all the code is already implemented during registration functionality, so we can take the code from here. I'm going to explain here, right, what we are doing. We are adding the validation rule for the fields, input fields inside our registration form, right? These are the server-side validations rules. Okay, we already added or created jQuery form validations rules inside our auth.js file. These are the client-side validations. Okay, these are the client-side validation rules, and these are the server-side validation rules. And you see, we just stored the Google reCAPTCHA response to a variable, because you see inside our registration form here is Google reCAPTCHA. Whenever a user will check this Google reCAPTCHA, okay, then what will happen? I am showing you. You see, there is a data callback. This method will call whenever a user will check this Google reCAPTCHA. Okay, I already explained this during Google reCAPTCHA implementation in registration form. Okay, you see, we have data callback method which is present inside our auth.js file. Here is it. Whenever a user will check this Google reCAPTCHA checkbox, this method will call and we will get a response. This is the Google reCAPTCHA response, and we are storing this response to a hidden field. Okay, this is the ID of the hidden field which is present inside our registration form. See, this is the hidden field. Okay, so we stored the Google reCAPTCHA response to this hidden field, and whenever our form will submit, all the field values along with this hidden reCAPTCHA field also will submit to this URL. Okay, this Ajax URL. So we are storing the Google reCAPTCHA response to a variable, and then we are checking this Google reCAPTCHA response is valid or not with the help of Gazelle-HTTP and this URL. Okay, we need to call this URL, and this URL I got from Google reCAPTCHA admin console. Okay, and we are calling this URL in Laravel with the help of Gazelle-HTTP client. I already imported it at the top. Okay, and we need to pass Google reCAPTCHA secret and Google reCAPTCHA response here. Google reCAPTCHA secret is already present in our .env file. I already included this during Google reCAPTCHA implementation. You see, I have Google reCAPTCHA secret and Google reCAPTCHA key. In your case, this might be different. Okay, you have to generate it. So this URL will return us a response, right? And we are storing the response to this $body variable, and I am checking if body success is equal to true, that means Google reCAPTCHA is valid. And if Google reCAPTCHA is not valid, then what I will do, I will return a response from here, right? Return response JSON, and inside JSON I will return a message. So the message will be invalid reCAPTCHA. Okay, and the response code will be 400. Okay, now remove this lines of code from here. Now let's check what we are doing whenever this Google reCAPTCHA will be invalid. That means we are returning success not true, that means Google reCAPTCHA is not valid. Then what we are doing, we are returning a response with message invalid reCAPTCHA with status code 400, right? And whenever Google reCAPTCHA is valid, then I will store the user's record to users table, right, with the help of user model. You see, I am storing first name, last name, email field and password field. I am decrypting user's password because we are not storing the password whatever is providing during registration. We are decrypting user's password and storing the password field, and we are storing also email verification code inside users table, and I am sending email verification link to users registered email address. You can follow this series for email verifications functionality, which is already included this series. Okay, and then I'll return a response at this stage. I'll return a response with message registration successful, please check your email address. And I will also return a redirect URL from here, and the redirect URL will be the route for our login page. The route name for our login page is get login. Okay, and the status code will be 200. So we are good to go now. So let's get back to auth.js file. So yeah, now whenever there will be successful response from the server, I mean from the URL we are calling, I'll display the message, success message, because we are returning a success message, right? This is the key. Whenever there is 200 response from the server, I'll display this message in the front end, right, in Toastr, and displaying the message in Toastr. This is the key message. And I will also reset the form, and I will also reset the login, not login, it should be registration validation, right? Yeah, register validator. That's why I stored the validator to a variable. Yes, and I will also reset the Google reCAPTCHA because we have reCAPTCHA for our login form and registration form. So the first reCAPTCHA, the reCAPTCHA for our login form will be inside 0 index, and reCAPTCHA for registration form will be inside 1 index, right? So I will reset the reCAPTCHA 1 index because the reCAPTCHA which is inside our registration form will be 1 index. Okay, and I will also remove the value for hidden reCAPTCHA because we have ID, right, inside this registration form. You see where we store the Google reCAPTCHA response, we store the Google reCAPTCHA response to this input field of ID hidden reCAPTCHA register. Okay, so I'll clear the value from this input field, and I will also hide the overlay loader, and after some time, after 2 seconds or 1 second, whatever you want, after 3 seconds or 2 seconds, I'll return the user back to redirect URL. Whatever the URL we are returning from the server, I'll return the user to redirect URL after 2 seconds. And what in our error callback, what we need to do inside this error callback, we need to display the error messages, right? Whenever there is some 400 status code from the server, we need to display the error. First of all, we are storing the response to a variable of response, and we are storing the status to a variable status, and we are also resetting the form let's copy the code. This will be same. Okay, so I'll reset the form, I'll reset the reCAPTCHA, and I will also clear the hidden field value. Okay, so we do not need to write it here again, and I'm checking whenever the status code will be 422, that means there are some validation messages. Okay, that means validation fails, so we did not return any response code 422. So when there will be some 422 response, because Laravel by default provide 422 response whenever there are some validations fail in the server side. Okay, it will return 422 status code with errors. Okay, we can get the errors, validation errors inside error key. Okay, you can console log the response.errors to check how Laravel is returning the error messages, and then I am looping all the errors and I am displaying the errors one by one in the toaster and for the server side validation error messages. This will not show because we have already client side validations, right? These are the client side validations. Okay, this is for the server side actually. So this is for the security reasons. Whenever we will get some server side validations, we will display the validation messages one by one, and if there are some 400 status code, then I'll display the error messages to toaster, and this is for the generic message. If validations if status code does not match 422 or 400, we'll just display an error message called internal server error. Okay, so all the things is done, so we need to check now the functionality is working or not. Okay, so let's open our DevTools here, and let's go to network tab, click on this register button. Let's register a new order, new user, John Doe. Okay, John Doe, email ID, provide a fake email provider, John Doe 3456 at yopmail.com. Yopmail is a fake email service provider. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. Let's check validation is working or not. Yes, validation is working. Okay, now I will submit the form. You see API is calling, right? And this is the exact URL, and it is taking some time because we are sending an email, right? After some time we are getting a successful response, and let's see our database. Yes, this user is registered in our database. So we have successfully completed registration functionality through Ajax call, right? So in the next video I will complete these subscriptions, right? Mailchimp subscriptions. Okay, so stay connected.